So he says software is eating the world. Basically what he means is there is a lot of product innovation happening, and software people, they are more flexible and they are doing this is exactly what we are going in the next few slides. So he says software is eating the world. Okay. I was thinking somebody else. Okay. So organizations are fundamentally transforming how they operate, interact with customers and go to market. Business apps have come in as a way of life. Now business apps have changed the way we do business. Suddenly everything is, they want to test it again, and people are serious. Most of the reason is they got accustomed to apps, business apps. Now IT teams are not ready for all. They have their own legacy shackles, and they have to now deliver game-changing apps faster, easier and cheaper. Then only it will be. So that is the topic of this particular discussion. So what is the current characteristic of a dynamic enterprise? So an enterprise which is moving forward at the pace, current modern pace, what is the characteristic? That is what we are going to define. Then for that characteristic, whether the IT is ready. That is how it is. So one thing about this presentation is, each slide will look very innocent and easy. But together you have to get the thread, then only it will be easy. So if you see each thread, each slide, no? Okay, this I know that. But together it will be a bit complex. So that's how it is. But anyway, we will see. So what is the characteristic? First characteristic, the pace of change is accelerating. Pace of change is accelerating means new product and technologies are being introduced at mind-boggling speeds. You agree with that? Whatever is there in thought, it is coming to the market straight. Not only in one area, in all areas. So you have everything. Some unimaginable products are there on the market. Then innovations reach mainstream adaptation in a fraction of time it took just a few decades ago. Suppose somebody innovates, that is immediately coming to the market. There is no gap between innovation and actually consumerization. That's what, that is another character. So the pace of change is very accelerated. Businesses are forced to constantly generate new sources of growth, innovation and differentiation. Now how does a business survive? So they have to bring the product fast to the market. Secondly, they have to differentiate between some products. So you will see the shampoo advertisements. Anti-dandruff, straight hair, curly hair, everything. So everything is differentiated. To the extent that, okay, something was only generic earlier, now you will see for ladies separate, children separate, gents separate. So they are targeting it, differentiating. So many products are there. So differentiation has become now that is how they are serving. So basically first characteristic, the pace of change is accelerated. So for that I have put this thing small, see before that I forgot to tell you, the entire content of my presentation is taken from one source, one company source called Mendix. So this Mendix is having a platform. They have kept so many literature on this rapid application delivery. I didn't go elsewhere because I thought that is self-contained. There are many documents, white papers on the same topic. how the even the heading of this is taken from one of the documents. Traditional delivery is broken. So the entire thing what I am showing is derived from this Mendix guides, white papers and presentation. So they say, so according to Mendix, there is a graph there which says that from 1900 it took up to 1980 to reach almost near 100% for telecom adaptation. In 1980s, the mobile phone started. The adaptation is very peak, very vertical almost. And from 2000 onwards, smartphone adaptation is up to 2011. Basically, what we are saying is the adaptation of a new technology by the common man is very fast. So, if you delay your products, you will not survive. That is the idea. Second characteristic is the digital transformation. Software is disrupting all industries. So, there was a conventional way of doing business. Now, the software comes in, it totally disrupts the way it is doing. New way it introduces. So, the examples are Ola cab. So, there is a traditional way of getting a cab, all those are gone. You just have your mobile and you call, the guy comes. And everything is known beforehand, there is no uncertainty. So basically Uber and Ola, they have changed the way we do business or take a transportation. Similarly Flipkart, they have changed the way we buy things and make my trip. So many examples are there, even now Food Panda, all those things are there. So software is now the basic bedrock for all these guys, all these companies, upstarts or new enterprises is software. They have some software using which they have changed the way the business is done. So it is an app-driven approach and platform. So they made it very low barrier for entry. If you see the Ola, they don't own many cars. They don't own cars. They don't own anything. What they own only the software and some licenses. They may have where is the office itself, not many people know. But they have a fleet of cars up with them. They are running the business. So the barrier for their entry was very low. Suppose earlier days somebody had taken have to make so many fleets, they have to invest in the physical car and then run it. That's not there. These people made a nice software and then gave advertisements. That's what they did. And they have been successful. So app-driven approach is changing the barriers for entry. And with the speed of innovation, new players are disrupting even the most mature industries. That's happening. Continuously releasing new versions. These people keep on. Facebook and all, they keep on changing. They keep on changing. IT teams are under immense pressure to find faster ways of developing and deploying them. So we just started it. So this is the second characteristic. So software is disrupting the industries. Traditional way what we have done business so. So next characteristic of the dynamic enterprise is that everything is open and hyper-connected. There is changing dynamics totally. So there is a social media which is interacting in a commercial and non-commercial sense. Then you have the mobile apps. Then all information is available to everyone. There's no more secret, not much secrets nowadays. And cloud makes it accessible anywhere. That's it. So these four items, they have changed the way we do the business. So the open and hyper-connected it is. Then the next aspect is that consumerization changes the expectation. Everything has become consumerized. So now to address a consumerization, that is, they want to sell it in mass. Basically, consumerization means you are not doing it in single pieces anymore. You are doing it in bulk. You are addressing the mass actually. Means that is a process. Everybody is getting almost same thing. That is like common soap. Fast moving consumer goods, FMCG they call it. That is a consumerization. Now to reach the consumerization, business users now expect multiple lightweight of apps focused on specific needs, not a single monolithic suite. Apps are so simple and intuitive that extensive training isn't required. For example, if you see the Ola app, you don't require any training at all. Without training, an average person can use it. That is how they have made. A lot of thought would have gone inside. But end user need not spend any time to learn it and use. Those are the applications how they want it. Very highly user friendly, no training. Absolutely nobody is ready to get trained on that. Apps that leverage the cloud to enable them to work wherever and whatever they want. So wherever they are, they want to work. So cloud is the answer for that. And apps should be available on demand. That is where the app stores are coming in. And multi-channel. So it should be on tablet, it should be on laptop, it should be on multi-channel apps that work seamlessly on any device. And apps that are developed rapidly and updated constantly. That is another key thing. We have to continuously see what is the change required and continuously. So before we go into this, I will just show you some statistics. So as I told you, I have got this entire presentation and material from the Mendix company. They are having a platform as I explained before. A platform which supports what at the end, what is the conclusion, that will support all that. That is their claim. But except for that platform, I have taken other things from those people. So they have also conducted some very large amount of surveys, and they have also incorporated into their findings surveys from Gartner and many other such industry leaders. So we will see some of their conclusions on enterprise app, current state of enterprise app delivery. What is? So this is done across North America and Europe actually. The surveys, all these surveys, and around 500 plus industries have been accommodated. And it is almost as recent as 2014. So here if you see, let us see only on the right side, teams lack the proper development environment. So they have asked questions like, development tools and infrastructures, whether are they available for the development. Do you have the development tools and infrastructures? 74% have said they are not readily available. That is 74% of the developers and the tools are not there, infrastructure is not there. That's what. Then can't easily create and share prototypes for user feedback. So they have 75% of them have said yes, it is not possible to create prototypes easily and get user feedback. And lack an integrated deployment environment with DTAP support. DTAP is design, test and production, acceptance and production. So do you have a deployment environment where you can just fastly change the product, put it up, do the testing, do the acceptance and move it to production? Do you have such an environment? 75% said no, we don't have. Then lack of tools for business level developers. Now we are introducing a new concept here, business level developers. Basically it means domain experts. So there are two guys now we are introducing. One is the software developer, another is the domain expert. Do the domain experts have tools to develop or help the development? So 78% said no, they don't have any tools. Now turnaround time for a new app. So 6% said they are able to deliver in weeks time. The time taken for delivering an app is in terms of weeks. Now 26% said several months it takes. 46% said multiple quarters it takes. And 22% said it takes years actually. So this is the turnaround time for a new application. Suppose from scratch you want a new application, this is the turnaround. So for change requests on existing applications, 25% said weeks, 37% months, and 30% said quarters, and 9% said years. For change requests also there are some people who are having years, they take years to develop. So only 6% of the companies can deliver apps in weeks, which means that the vast majority are missing opportunities. That is the concept. See, this 6% is okay. All others are not compatible. So market won't accept this. Users won't accept. That is the issue. Now we are seeing the project performance, delivery, app delivery performance, on time, on budget, those things. So 69% said our apps deliveries are on too late. So what is taken, what is late and not late? They have defined 3/4 of the project. Suppose there is a, there are 100 projects, and for each one there is a schedule. Suppose 3/4 of, suppose in an organization there are some 10 apps going, and 3/4 of them were delivered within that schedule, then that is a normal organization, like that. Otherwise it comes into the late. So 69% of the organization felt that okay, they are into the too late. And 76% are too expensive. It has crossed the budget. 76% of the projects cross the budget. And 64% doesn't meet requirements. Actually, originally what was the requirement? The project doesn't meet that, app doesn't meet. And 66% says doesn't deliver value. So these are the facts as on 2014 for North America and Europe. So then further, primary development tool. So what are the tools you are using like that? So 41% said we are using programming tools, like programming languages. Then enterprise system like BPM or something. Then 4 GLs we are using. 6% said others. Enterprise system is slightly the PaaS based system. BPM is 6%. High productivity APaaS is 4%. Enterprise system, see what is enterprise system. So then, what are the common development methodologies? So 36% is using waterfall. Agile is 36%. Both are running neck to neck. Then extreme programming is 33%. RUP is IBM Rational Unified Process. That is a IBM platform for development and integration. RUP 16% are using of the enterprise are using RUP. And spiral methodology and others are 11. This is the development methodology what are followed. Now business demand for custom apps. What is the demand for custom? So they are asking question whether in your app, in the app what you have developed, are you using do you have customer facing app, or do you in your app is there any reporting involved? Those kind of questions are being asked. So that will give a general nature of apps which are being developed. So 56% of the apps are customer facing, has some customer facing or partner facing. And 55% is having some reporting and data analytics. BI is there in 55%. 54% has documentation and content management. 54%. 51% has extending existing system. That is, some system is there, you are extending it. 44% is automating the process. And 32% is migration, legacy migration. 26% they are doing mobilizing the enterprise. Core backend system is 24. That is the core backend system, very low number of applications are being core backend system. That not much work. Now the need for mobile apps is 75%. If you see here, 75% of the demand is for multi-channel mobile app needs, whereas they are taking up 26%. What they are doing is 26%, whereas the demand is 75%. And 68% is multi-channel app demand. So pure mobile is 75%, 68% is multi-channel. So business demand and urgency is growing. So this is out of 1 to 10. So 67% it is. 67% more apps or demand is coming in. Business is demanding more and more apps in 6.7 out of 10. They are not satisfied with the existing apps, they are demanding more and more apps. And 6.5, that is 65% of the time, business stakeholders, they want to get involved and see what they are doing, and they want to get involved in the app development. There is a wish. It is not isolated anymore. And 6.4 out of 10, more changes. Business requires more changes more frequently. So there are something existing, they want to change it. Changes are 6. And faster turnaround is very much must in 6.2. That's their opinion. So demand and urgency is growing. So demand is going up for the customer apps and urgency also. But IT is not able to keep pace. So they have asked, out of this 500 enterprises, how many apps you rolled out in last year. So they 42%, they said new apps. No? 42% is between 1 and 10 apps. 26% is 11 to 20. Like that it goes. And 7% none, they have not rolled out any new app. 4% more than 100. So 100 apps also some people have rolled out. Projects to be completed this year is 41% is 1 to 10. 23%. So it is almost similar to this. What they have completed, that much is still to be completed. So next slide is. Backlogs are growing and problem. It is becoming a problem. 82% of the companies have backlogs for app development. 82% of the companies, they have backlogs. They have approved everything, but they are not able to do it. 89% of the companies are unable to reduce the backlog year on year. Okay, they will say, okay, this year we will complete it, by next year we will make it zero, there is no backlog. But 89% of the companies, they are not able to complete. So demand is more, supply is less. That's what it is. So then there is a difference between the business user and the IT. So do you have all development tools? 6.3 out of 10. IT guys, this red is IT guy. IT guy says it is available, whereas the business user says no, it is not available. So do you have a deployment, integrated deployment environment? 6.3, again here there is a opinion. So all these questions, there are so much difference between IT and the business guys. Now out of the 6%, we told earlier, no? 6% of the guys, they are able to develop in time and deliver. Now out of that 6%, they had separate questions for that 6% of those guys. So can you say that whatever you deployed, whether did it go really on time? See, what is the 6%? 75% of the total projects are in schedule. So individually they are asking whether do you think that it is in time? So on time is 33%, is the IT says 33%, 28% only for the same thing business user says it is on time. So there is a gap between IT and business user. For them, if development and UAT is over, that thing is over. For the other guys, until the production and they can see it on there, and it is not ready. So there is a difference. Similarly, under budget, meets requirement, generates value. If you see, that is very important. 36% of the IT guys felt they generated value, whereas 28% of the business users only agreed on it. There is a lot of gap between the business user and, so we will go back to our presentation. So now, based on all these statistics, we can redefine the enterprise habit. What is the required enterprise? It has to be delivered rapidly, and it has to be updated frequently, and it has to be open and integrated. And here it should support multi-device channel. It should be lightweight and adaptable, intuitive and beautiful. These are the requirements for any app now, enterprise level. So IT is ill-equipped to meet the demand of this new world. That is it. IT means any, including us. We are ill-equipped to meet the demand of this new world. So now onwards, what we are seeing is how to build this chassis. That's what. So now what are the characteristics of the current IT? What we are doing? Any big company, suppose there is a IT, what is their problem? What is their issue? So I think we will reduce it a bit. Just switch to presentation. Good. Now I will put interest. Yeah. So that is something they have now coined as KTLO. KTLO is keeping the lights on. And this is also called the CIO paradox. Recently somebody has coined it as a CIO paradox. What is that? The CIO has a very large budget in any company. But 80% of his budget has to go to just maintain his existing system. Whereas demand is for the new systems where he has to spend money. So everybody is asking him, we are giving you a lot of budget. But his thing is to just maintain the legacy systems and whatever is existing, he requires 80% of the money. He or she has only 20% of the money, which is not sufficient for changing. So keep the lights on. Keeping the lights on is what they are doing, and that is called the CIO paradox. So innovation is not possible with that small budget, which forces the vendors to deliver apps at lower cost, higher speed, all that, whatever. This is one character. So there is no way, even if you quote bigger, he or she may have wished to give it, but the budget constraint is there because to maintain their legacy system itself, so much money is supposed to be spent. Like that. Second is, they have the approach of one size fits all app delivery. So whenever you ask for something to a IT division for a company, they have their own process. They will make, okay, I will make the requirements, I will make this, that, like that. It goes irrespective of the size. Even if it is just I want some 2 screens, then also it goes through that process. Even if it is a big ERP system, then also it goes. So they are now accustomed to the one size fits all, that kind of a delivery approach. And that kind of approach is more suitable to larger applications. It is not suitable for the smaller applications. So there is a problem in delivering and deploying small applications fast with IT. That's all. So that is more geared towards large, complex and slow change to systems of the ERPs. They are bogged down. Then the third characteristic is that there is sole reliance on code-based development. So whenever there is a need, they will have some Java programmers or .NET programmers or whatever it is, and they are relying, okay, now you develop code for that. So the Forrester, John Reimer from Forrester, he says if we rely solely on coding, we are going to fail. It is too slow, it is too inflexible, and we can't move fast. So basically, which was a good thing earlier, now it has become a liability. Depending on coding, it's becoming a liability in the new requirement. Then we had false starts. So .NET and Java, what they did is they introduced certain libraries and design patterns in them. But even then, with the .NET and Java, the application development is slow and time consuming. Irrespective of how much smarter developers you get, the application by itself bogs you down and it is slow and time consuming. Then what you do is you go into some ready-made solutions like SAP and Oracle. Even then, after a standardization, you require some coding, which is again bogging you down. Next is like our K2 like business process management, which is for standard applications it is okay, they can take care of most of the things, but when you go into the exceptions, again you require coding and it is again slow. These are all what the industry has tried and results are like. Then platform as a service. Platform as a service is recommended because you need not invest too much on your services, what you require, licenses or whatever. If you want to change, the platform guy itself will change. So if a new version of the release has come, that you are not spending the money. The CIO is not spending the money. He is just giving the rent which is pre-programmed and they are able to get it. So it is easy to use pass for this particular kind of development. That's what. But these are all didn't really give the full effect what is required. So now the state of enterprise app delivery is like this. So IT projects are failing. So according to Standish Group, 90% of the large IT projects are either challenged, that is over budget, behind schedule, or didn't meet user expectations. That we have seen. There we saw it is around 78% or something, but this case is 94% of the large projects. That is full total for the full projects. But 94% of the large projects have failed. That's what they are. Either it has shot over the budgets, or it has scheduled, or it didn't meet the expectation of the user for large projects. Or fail altogether it is. Sometimes it has fallen altogether. Of those that fail, 71% do so because of the poor requirements management, not CIU. So 71% of this 94% which has failed is because of the poor requirements management. That is the conclusion. Now second one. So what the second state of app delivery is backlogs. Backlogs are growing. Gartner predicts that IT debt, they are defining debt, cost of dealing with the delayed and deferred maintenance of the application portfolio. Suppose you have a legacy system and you want to change with a new system. The new system may be cost effective. Legacy system running is costly. But because the new system is not able to deliver in time, there is a cost escalation for the legacy system. That is called the debt. So the debt is growing. And it is threatened to reach $1 trillion globally by 2050. The debt is reaching $1 trillion. The scale of backlog has created a systemic risk that is impacting IT organizations. So this is a staggering value actually. Backlogs are a staggering value. Now the third aspect is business is unhappy. So there is a McKinsey study.
You can add some amount of technology on it.
Yes. Railways.
You also contributed to that $1 trillion.
$1 trillion. So McKinsey studies reveals that 74% of the business executives are unhappy with the IT's ability to drive innovation within their organization. So the business users are totally unhappy with the IT guys. 74% of them. 70% of the IT executives felt the same way. They are also feeling the same. So okay, we agree like that, 70%. So totally everybody is unhappy with the current state. Which means that even IT isn't happy with the job it is doing supporting new business needs. They are not able to support the new business needs. 74. So this is the state of enterprise app development. So now these guys are suggesting a transformative approach to Mendix is suggesting. I thought there is some value in that. So two things we can see. One is that from the industry point of view. Second thing is from Integra point of view. That is what it is. More. So both are a bit different. So now we are introducing a very brand new concept here, which from the Integra point of view, it will be very difficult to implement. Maybe 5 years down the line, we may be able to implement it. Right now, we don't have the maturity to implement this particular model. But what is this model? Think it.
Implement for internal use or for
Internal development. For any, for any customer, we are developing applications for the customer app delivery.
Okay. So are you talking about for customer projects you are not able to do this, or you
Yeah,
saying that
customer.
you will be able to?
Internally, we are using very less software right now.
So this basically, this will, if we implement,
If we implement.
if we implement, this will replace
So,
the
no.
methodology.
See, what has happened is, now this has been addressed as a problem. There is a backlog, how to do all this, how to do rapid delivery. So, there has been several suggestions to change the scenario.
Okay.
So, as I told you, these are all right now 2014, very recent thinking actually. Okay, all these are very recent thinking. Some of them are different from earlier things. Now, Gartner has come up with a solution how to deliver. So, they call it phase layered application strategy. Actually, if you want to implement it, then you have to buy the strategies from Gartner, which they charge actually. It's not free. Actually. But what I have done is, with whatever I have seen, I have got some inputs, and within that inputs, I can tell you what is that strategy. Now, what Gartner has done is, in their phase layered application strategy, what they have done is, they have any enterprise system what you are developing, they have treated as 3 different regions or 3 different levels. The bottom level they call it as system of records. The mid level they call systems of differentiation, and the top level they call systems of innovation. So there are 3 different approaches for 3 different levels. Whereas now currently what we are doing everything as same, which is not correct. That's what they are saying. Now, what is system of record? What they are saying is, let us take a case of standard software. Let us say you are taking a purchase order, invoice software. That is standard across industry for your industry, same. And out of that, some of them are very much standard. For example, income tax calculation or any service tax calculation, how to do the purchase order, tendering, most of them are common. So, anything common, they call it as those things come under systems of record. For that, what they are saying is, use the existing software or use the existing platform. So don't try to work on those things. That's their advice. So typically what they are expecting is, from your experience, you should have certain libraries with you. Suppose you don't have a library, then you should go for a standard platform which has all this. That's where they are selling their platform. This Mendix is selling such a platform where you can just take pieces and so basically, system of record is nothing but with minimum changes to your components. You should already have those components with you, and those components you combine as you want it and make a system. And this will, if this works, any standard system can be designed and developed and converted into production in 1/20th of a time. 1/20th of time. That's what they are saying.
But the K2 has they have the standard packages, like performance, all standard packages they already have. They said you just take custom.
So that is what they are. The first one. So here changes are very slow. That's no, we don't expect changes in very fast changing. Now, second layer is the system of differentiation. So in this itself, sometimes what happens, somebody will have some good idea. So So they will say in this itself, they will say in purchase of order, for example in railways, there is something like minus debit. They don't say credit. In this particular area, they call it as minus debit. That is a special requirement for that area. So that is a differentiation. Or they say everybody is doing like this. If we do like that, then we will also be in the run of the mill. At this point, we are making a difference. That is the systems of differentiation. So at that time, what happens? Over and above the standard system of records, you are introducing some differentiation. That's what it is. So that differentiation will not be available in your library. So that means it is a unique process. So here if you see, it is standardization, operational efficiency, compliance. Compliance to all your whatever. Here in the differentiation, it is unique processes. You are identifying certain unique processes from there and concentrating on that. You can write Java code or whatever it is and then implement it. Current competitive advantage. So this part will give you competitive advantage over the rest of the case. That is where the differentiation. This is where you make the competitive advantage. Now third is you have some very bright guys and they came with a totally paradigm shift. No, this is not like this. Another thing is, this one, once you code it and make it into the way they are telling about a standard way of coding, which will come in as a library for the next one. So if you do that, then onwards, next time onwards, this again comes under the system of records. That's so. So systems of differentiation will become, for the next guy, it becomes a system of records. Now there is a system of innovation, so new ideas. In this new ideas, here they are saying the differentiation. If you include the new ideas, you have to design everything you have to do from scratch. It is a new programming, everything has to be done. That part alone you do from scratch. Then it becomes the next competitive advantage. Nobody has. That is your competitive. So this is the base layer. So they are suggesting you implement the Gartner's base layer application strategy as one of the first step, one of the steps. Now as far as Integra is concerned, why I said it will take time is we don't have a library. We have not maintained any library. Even though we have done so many hundreds of projects, there is no common library. Even now, if you have to do some date comparison, then also we have to write code first for us. Now, unless we make a base of that kind of library, we will not be able to utilize this kind of a process. So we will come to that. Now there is one more slide on this, which again, what are the common elements of connectivity? So these are all having some, as I told you, libraries and commonly used. So basically this is nothing but like a hotel. When you order for masala dosa or something, that guy within 5 minutes he is giving you the masala dosa. But that guy works for hours together to give you that. That is not seen for us. The end user, I am the end user client. I come and order for a masala dosa. I have all the components. I have made the dough ready. Flour is there. And I have the masala separate. And I have the this thing, fire burning. It's not that after this guy comes, the fire is lit. Fire is burning, the oven is hot, everything is done. So they are waiting for you. The moment the order comes, the guy puts it, gives it. Now this may not be possible for an individual, one, suppose entire day he gets only one person order, then it's not possible. That's why I told consumerization. This is where the consumerization comes. Everything is standard. Then you ask for, I want in the masala dosa some pieces paneer and some pieces masala, like that. He is ready, he will say, you please wait, I will give it. This is a new thing. Like, okay, instead of masala dosa, he makes paneer dosa. Next time onwards, you see in his menu, he would have put paneer dosa. So that differentiation came in and he is using it as a tool to sell his product. Third one, you say, I want one portion with leaves, another portion with this. That is a totally new idea. That means he has to really work on it, if he is ready. There is nothing but that. So these are the common elements. You should have all this. You should have all this ready, then you can do a rapid application delivery. So what are that master data management? You should have. There should be a process. Everything process. There should be application framework for data management. So you should have a BI and analytics ready. Process and data integration should be there. Everything should be there. SOA should be there. Repository should be there. Composition technology, you should be ready with all technologies, some variation. Somebody wants Angular JS, that part. But the base is something. Identity and access management architecture, all these things should be BPM. Now, all this together you can deliver. So these are the connective technologies for a base layer application style. Now we will go to the next step. So they are suggesting base layered application strategy. As far as Integra is concerned, if we want to do rapid delivery, we should have a library. That is a must. Next is embrace Agile. So forget about waterfall and all. You have to embrace Agile. Agile development methodologies become increasingly crucial for rapid delivery. Because most of the time requirements are unclear. With unclear or fluid requirements and tight lines, these applications require rapid iterative development cycles with significant involvement from key business users. So that is where we all lose out actually. It says significant involvement from key business users. That's what happened in PQMS actually. In PQMS what has happened is we did some requirement study and up to sprint 2 delivery that was okay. Then what they did is the entire organization structure they changed. So whatever software we develop is no more useful for them. Not our fault of it. Suddenly what they wanted is they wanted Abu Dhabi separate, Dubai separate and let us say Sharjah separate. And Dubai guy should not see anything in Sharjah, Sharjah guy should not see anything. So we have written software like that, tight, only this case. When we went for the final delivery, they have fired an entire guy. There is only some 3 guys who are doing everything. So there is no special department for quality or there is no special department as a project manager, nothing. Everybody is doing everything and there are no regions. Everybody can see everything. Then they said this is not useful for us. So that is where the war began. Finally it is coming through. That is where significant involvement from key business users is. It comes. Otherwise you are doomed. Empowering teams to deliver software in frequent iterations.
So, just what I was actually clarifying earlier was, even if with this space strategy, we will still have to use Agile for product development.
Space strategy is one methodology. Don't use your waterfall, don't use your other thing. I mean, not that. It has nothing to do with the model. Okay. It is just saying, if you analyze your package, what is your requirement? There will be 80% of that will be standard. Use libraries, whatever it is, platform. Use it. Do it fast, that 80%. Okay. Then differentiation part will be there. So that you code. And if by chance, if there is anything Totally different. That's what also you that you have to first design development everything. So 10% of only 10% is the top, 20% is the differentiation. 70% or 60% will be your standard thing. Why do you want to spend time on the standard thing?
So that
You
standard will be taken again and again from the
again and again, and you have to reuse.
Okay.
That's what they say.
Now, if you use waterfall doesn't talk about phase-wise. It is like single.
sequential.
Sequential. Do design for the entire thing, development for the entire thing.
Yeah.
So there you can't follow this trend. Because this is a phase-wise delivery. You deliver the 80% standard for standard application, get your first milestone now. Then you deliver the next 20%. Get the second milestone and then the third take your time. So that's sprint or whatever, agile or phase-wise something.
So like the proposal which we gave to Phoenix, initially we had gone with the agile methodology, remember?
But it's a very small project, so it doesn't suit them.
For small project, this is not applicable or not relevant.
That is, I told you design, testing, design, development, testing, and production. That is a close. Any change, fast design, develop, put it. That is a close. Fast if you can do that. So you should have a platform. Now when they say platform, we can have a processor as far as integrator is concerned. We can have a setup where okay, any change, this is the process. We do it fast. There is no question of delay. We have to adopt such platforms. So now connect the dots. So what is required now? There should be an application platform. Platform need not be a physical platform. It can be a concept also, where you are doing design, build, deploy and manage. And this is continuous thing. And you collaborate with all stakeholders. And also you iterate. This is the way you can do. You can meet the business expectations in a very rapid way. So now how do you connect the dots? So here they are telling design, capture, refine and prioritize user stories. So user will have hundreds of requirements. As I told you, you should have discussion with the user. Which one is important? Suppose I give you this chunk, will you start using? Then those cases will think, okay, as I told you. They will start thinking, okay, this much if I get, you add this also, then I can use it as a, I can start using it. So those kind of user stories are given prior. So you prioritize all your stories, user stories you prioritize and take one chunk, do it as a sprint to deliver. Your sprint should be usable for the end user. That's what it is. Then they should actually start working. They should use it. That's what it is. Then manage, release, etc. Second is the most important. Build applications with visual model driven development. Promote community. So visual model driven development is a must to deliver rapidly and to get access. So that everybody is aware what is happening. We will come to this. What is a model driven development? We will come. Visual model driven. Basically, it means that working prototype. Now, don't confuse this with POC. Proof of concept. It is not with proof of concept. Proof of concept is now we are telling we will run this. This is our approach. These are the technology we are using. And I will take your most complex thing and I will show you that it is working. So we take one piece and apply all our technology, everything, and show it to them. If it works, we say that entire application should work with the same approach. That's the POC. Whereas here we are telling model-driven approach, entire user stories. From beginning to end, you are showing it to them in very short time, so that they can go through it, feel it, they can give the feedback. That reduces the changes in the future very heavy. Model driven development. Now that will help to promote communication, productivity, quality and short iterations. Deploy, provision and manage apps in the cloud. Cloud is the suggested deployment. So with the new cloud structure, you can just deploy it in one click. You can do. There is no so much sysadmin and all not required. The developer himself, with one click, if every setup is done. Of course, you have to do the setup. Once the setup is done, one click, deploy it. Then manage it, test it, acceptance in production. And managing the applications from a single, if it is in cloud, cloud itself gives a lot of software to manage your application. So you need not worry about managing applications from the IT. It also provides security, performance and scalability. That's what. And then you can iterate. So you have delivered a working model and a working system in a very short span of time. And then what happens is, those guys give feedback. On that you can work in it. So gather feedback, include end user input and use the next cycle. Main thing is end user. This guy has to be happy. And the next cycle of capture, develop, deploy it. That's what. And finally collaborate. Enable all stakeholders to communicate and collaborate throughout the life cycle of project. Not only the developers, not only the designer, not only the architect, and not only the IT, the end users. Even the people who are investing money, the investors. At the end, the investor will say, this is not what I expected. End user will be happy. Everybody has to be happy. So, in order to effectively support agile and continuous delivery, IT teams need an enterprise app platform that not only aligns with these methodologies but seamlessly supports the entire application lifecycle. So, connect all the project stakeholders, democratize app development. What do you mean by democratize app development? Democratize app development. This is one way of making rapid delivery and user acceptance faster. Any guess what is the democratize app development?
Even end users can make changes, simple changes in the app.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. I mean, it is too simplistic. I will say, I originally told you there are two kind of developers now. We are introducing the IT or software developers and the domain developers. The domain developers should be able to contribute into your app development. Since they know the domain, what work they are doing will be exactly what the user is required. Bring end users to the conversation and also discuss with the end users. These are the main things. So then if you do, what will happen? Build a better applications, faster, respond to change and enable the business. Now all these things are okay. What I told is theory. How to make rapid application to suit the business. That's what I have told now. Now how to really implement. How to really implement, and here again we can see with respect to Integra, how to theory we have seen. We have to have a phase layer, or at least we have to differentiate. That part we have definitely difficult to implement. Then he says agile, use agile and communicate with everybody, make releases fast, get the feedback, involve everybody, those kind of things we saw. So how to do it in the real life? That's what. So design, agile, collaborate. Design should be agile and collaborate. So agile project management. Not only agile project management includes capturing, refining, prioritizing user stories that we discussed already. How to prioritize user stories and manage the project backlog. estimating and planning, agile, it is agile again. Sprints and future releases. So you will say, no, our problem is we are giving upfront that your total fixed price project is costing this much and this is my schedule like that. Now when you do the agile estimating and planning, it will go haywire. Now how do you control that actually? So that is where the prioritizing it should help it. If the other side is actually also a non-obstinate kind of a user, other side, we can say, see, you have given us some 20 stories. Out of that, now you introduce some 3 stories extra. Now we have extra work on this, but you are not going to change the schedule. Now we see that the last bottom 3 we can drop. Instead, we can introduce these 3 stories. That is the way, actually. But for that, the other side has to be cooperative. So, estimating and planning, and then sprints and future releases. Plan it well. Monitoring sprint progress using Scrum. These are all what we are actually doing. We are already doing all this. The other thing what we are not doing is social collaboration. Central social collaboration space that is fun and easy to use. Basically what they are wanting is you use a chat or you open a group or a Facebook group or a chat or a whatever, some social media where all the stakeholders can come in and put in their opinion. That is the best way. So if you have an end user, that guy has done some test, he can put it up on your social media, only for your group. On that, somebody else can make a comment. So that is one way of getting the easiest way of getting all the information upfront. So you make one release, you get so much opinion from so many people. Those things can be consolidated, you can have an agreement, general agreement with all. That can be changed and that will be accepted through. Easy to accept. That's what. Actually we are doing for PQMS, we made only for developers one WhatsApp group. So whenever there is a problem they put on that, somebody else is giving solution. That has been very helpful. Across Dubai or wherever it is, that guy may be on leave, but he will give solution from home. We have solved many problems. Now what these people are saying is not only developers, include your end users also. Then it will be more. That's what. So design, so what it says is design, agile and collaborate. Should be collaborative. Now build visual model driven development. See basically the end user should know what he is going to get much of. So you can have templates ready, you can have forms ready, you can have a working prototype you can show. They can physically run through that and see okay whether this is okay or not. If it is not okay, then itself there is. Earlier we used to show wireframes actually. Wireframes are not sufficient now. You should have a feeling, okay, this is what I will do, some drop down, all that, as much as possible. Working prototype. That is called the visual model driven development. So there is no training required. Any guy, they can just start using and say, but it will not be, there will not be back-end or anything. It will just give an idea how the screens flow from one screen to another, whether all the fields are required in the screen is there, whether the form is according to what he is thinking, contents of the form. Maybe the UI may change later. With this, it is very much helpful for the acceptance. Next is accelerate development with the app store. Now what is happening? You have an executable, but the guy is not able to access it. Suppose you have an app store and put it on app store, which is nothing but the continuous integration. They can always, whenever whomever is involved, all the stakeholders can just download it and see and use it. Then, as they were telling, there are standard models. With custom code, you can extend it. You have already standard models which are rapidly developed. Onto that, you can develop some more custom code. Actually. That can be, you can use Java, whatever it is at that time. C#. And you should have an integrated development environment. That, as I told you, right from design to production, there should be one platform where everything is fast. The next thing is integrate any system. This is another main point actually. See, in any industry, there will be some legacy systems lying. If you ignore that, you are losing a lot of valuable investment and the usage. So, we should always integrate. Our system developed should be such that we should always be able to integrate it with any other system. So, while designing itself, that integration has to be kept in mind. Secondly, when we design it, our application should be able to integrate it with any other future. So, basically what they are saying is APIs or plugins. You should develop your applications or part of the application. Each component should be API based. So, if you make it as a standard practice, then that API can be used next time, or a web service, whatever, which is reused. If you write hard code for that particular thing, and then for the next thing also for the same thing you have to write more hard. Whereas if you have a pluggable or you have a API or a web service, you can use it. That's what they are. So over a period, this experience will lead to more and more reduced time in app development. So if you start today, by the end of 2 years, you will have so many pluggables or APIs, and which you can be integrated into your system fast and like Pani Puri, within no time you can give either Masala Puri or Pani Puri or whatever.
I think this approach they have taken. I am first side. Like when we built, Kiran had developed something in Integra Common ICT. So there what happens, like any kind of encryption, any date comparison, very all generic things, everything is put there. So you want app just to communicate, but you want to encrypt the biometric. So they just take what encryption is, or whatever. So they just take it. So they have that. They have a lot of things.
But tell me one thing. You say that the environment is good, but then how is it managed? We remove Kiran from the system.
Still it is there. It's quite well managed. Like at least they put some effort initially.
I may not really mean anything, but my personal experience has always been how we've been interacting with INS so many things, different solutions. Yeah, they are aware that it exists in different bits and pieces, so when we ask them to put a solution, they do a lot of search, this, that, everything. That's something.
But at least the cost application is well managed. Like at least that layer is well managed.
Okay, here I will tell another thing.
The approach is definitely appreciated, but it needs to be managed.
I think we are veering away from the topic. So that is how well it is executed.
Yeah,
That is a
but what
separate
I'm
topic.
saying is it really helps. Like
No.
having that.
Yeah, that one approach. But there should be a central authority who is controlling that, because you require certain, say, blindly you should set the input should be like this, your API is like this, output will be like this. That kind of standardization across should be then only.
You have freedom within a given company.
So if you implement that kind of logic, then everything, okay, you know that input should be like this, output, this is the usage is like this, output is. That predefined may not be there. They would have put across everything, but each one usage will be different. Then it becomes difficult.
Okay.
So just to get to Jetali days, that is way back then. For handsets, when you want to make handsets, browser, you had various components. You had a XHTML browser, web browser, and then you also had a complete HTML browser. Now, depending on the handset, you have to configure, pick, choose, and this entire thing had to be ported onto the handsets. This became a pain actually. Typical life cycle of a handset is about a year to make, right from design to launch. So then what we did is we had a framework available. So the core framework you could easily port across different platforms. And the wrapper, which would be specific functionality and features, those you would customize it based on what is needed. So what we call it JCF, it's called the Agile Common Framework.
Yeah, this is more or less that one actually. So this is the how to do the build and the iterative is that. Now, one-click deployment is on the cloud. 30% of the adoption of public cloud will be, 30% of the enterprise will go for cloud. That is the Gartner statement actually, which gives us the scalability and control. So cloud-based application platforms are simple, it has built-in tools, scalability, fully under IT control, and rapidly iterative. Whenever feedback or change is there, change. So that the end user always feels, okay, this is useful for me. They are useful for me. Now, if you do all this, what is the value? What is the return on investment in this new approach? So, the app platforms, suppose we have an app platform like what we have told now, discussed now, with all libraries, and then we have a cloud for deployment, all that. Then what is the significant business value is number of resources is too much number of resources are not good. This is coming actually. They have made some statistics where 12 people are required. If you do this approach, only 2 people are required. 2 developers are required. 12 to 2, it will be reduced. So you can utilize the resources for some other development. The backlogs can be complete. Then time to delivery is reduced. Because when you are using components, what all things you can make it common? You can have templates and forms. You can have templates, you can have forms. Then you can have all the common functions, date comparison, this, that, and all. You can have widgets. You can have widgets as a library. And you can have so many web services, even entire module as a library. You are just using it. Since every time you put a widget or a form or a function on the library, you would have tested that. So you need not test that part. So you have tested and trusted components and you are just joining them. Only the integration between these components you have to test. So the reliability goes up. So the cost is less and it is easy to change. So whenever some change is there, either you remove one block, put another block, or introduce some 2 3 more blocks. That's all. Time to market is less, opportunity is there. So for each of this, they are saying, as I told you earlier, 20 times is what they are saying. 20 times will be the change. So 20 times into number of apps, that much you are saving. So greater IT to business collaboration is happening in this method. Small high productive teams will be evolved, faster delivery times and time to market, significant cost saving. So you want fewer people, shorter projects, better software, almost no infrastructure because we are using PaaS. Absolutely no infrastructure needed. Money is only needed. That's all. Ease and frequency of change, massive opportunities. That's what it is. That's it. So that's it. With this I am closed. So that's it.
But actually, seriously, we can think about this.
No, we are implementing. That's why I am